there's become this this terrible divide, this new divide, as a reference to Linkin Park. I'm not a huge Linkin Park fan. I'm not a fan of rap music, and I think his name is Mike Shinoda. Did a lot of rap parts in a lot of their songs. Chester Bennington was a phenomenal singer, and Mike Shinoda is talented. I'm just not into rap, but I still liked a lot of their songs. And they had this song called "New Divide," and it's one of my favorite modern era songs. And it seems like we've created this new divide where between, this political class and this political class and this social class and this social class and, faith, this faith and that faith and that faith and that faith and atheism and all that other stuff. And, whenever you tell people where you stand, you will have people that agree with you and stand with you. You'll have people that may not agree with you, but don't really care. But then you're getting this much larger class of people from all sides that they do care. They cannot accept you if you disagree with them. That automatically makes you enemy. It's like I tell you all the time, I'm very faithful, I'm very spiritual, but I'm not a Christian. And I have lived for pretty much my whole life, being here in the South, which I deeply, deeply love. But the primary religions practiced down here are different flavors of Protestantism, which is fine. It's great. But I've noticed that they all seem heaven bent on doing their absolute level best to convert every single person to their way of belief and their way of thinking. And when you peacefully, respectfully decline, they either continue to hound you, they act like you don't exist, or they view you antagonistically. They view you as, you're automatically, well, if you don't want to rock with us, you must automatically be a Satanist or something like that. And I am not. But again, it's so very rare for people to put their differences aside and find common ground regardless. My best friend, he's a Southern Baptist. If you looked in the dictionary for a picture of a devout, virtuous Christian, it would be a picture of this man. He can put that aside. We are still great friends. And it's sad because everyone else I've known like him or that, was part of that, faith. They're nice and friendly to you until they find out that you don't believe exactly the same way they do and you're not willing to convert to what they believe. And it's gotten to be the same way politically. You have to conform to my political ideals. And if not, we're going to do violence to you. And I hate to say it, but, despite a lot of the rhetoric that is out there, there's really only one side that engages in violence, especially on a mass scale, or that does what was done 2 days ago. Murder a man for his beliefs and his opinions. And I'm not saying there's not extremism in all sides. Extremism exists in every vein of society. And extremism is wrong no matter where it is. Zealotry is wrong no matter where it is. But there's these particular veins of extremism that seem to be getting more and more and more and more extreme. And you have things like what happened yesterday. Well, you have things like what happened yesterday 24 years ago. And then you have things like what happened 2 days ago. There's gotten to be such a sickness of extremism and zealotry in this country and in this world. And a lot of these people talk about, how they're doing what they're doing with good intentions. Good intentions in murdering an innocent man. None. What's that old saying? The road to hell was paved with the best intentions. And the people that did what they did 2 days ago did it thinking that they were going to frighten and cow into silence people that they disagreed with, when the reality couldn't be further from the truth. They did the exact opposite. I think it was Admiral Yamamoto in World War II after the attack of Pearl Harbor that stated a quote, something to the effect of, "I fear all that we have accomplished is waking a sleeping giant and filling him with terrible resolve." And that is exactly what those people did when they killed Charlie Kirk 2 days ago. Exactly what they did. Not only did they do that, but they also, in the long run, will see that they have succeeded in driving young people away from their cause. Because even though they can't wrap their heads around it, most people are not extremists like they are. Most people can and do have an aptitude for rationalism. And rationalism seems to be something we're constantly losing more and more of. And that's got to stop, people. It's got to stop. So, if you are someone that prays, and you haven't already, please say a prayer for all of the people that lost their lives so needlessly 24 years ago. And even if you don't agree with him or aren't on the same side, say a prayer for Charlie. But most of all, say a prayer for his family. He had a beautiful wife that genuinely seemed to love him, which, I have to be real, it seems to be very rare nowadays. He had 2 beautiful babies that adored him. There's a video going around of him finishing up a show and his little baby daughter running up to him squealing "Daddy" with absolute glee. She will never get to do that again. His babies will never get to hug their daddy again. They will never get a bedtime story from him again. They will never get tucked in by him again. They will never be comforted by him again. They will never get to have him help them with their homework. They will never get to see the pride and joy and accomplishment in his face when he sees them accomplishing things as they grow. That has been stolen from those two innocent children. And it sickens me that there are people out there celebrating this man's murder. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You're an absolute piece of shit if you celebrate what was done 2 days ago.